So what do you think of the PRO Act that just passed in the House? And do you think it has a chance of going anywhere in the Senate?
So it is amazing to me. I would have said 6 weeks ago, no, it has no chance. It doesn't mean we shouldn't have our demands out there and be organizing around our demands. So don't confuse the two. If I'm saying it didn't have a chance, that was more of an assessment of where we were politically and what we still needed to do. The first thing you have to do is set your demands. So those are power-based demands, and it gives power to working people. It would, for example, make Amazon have to answer to what they're doing during this election, as opposed to after it's over, right? And they could not retaliate against workers. And then once the workers win their union, they have a surefire way to get to that first contract. Those are some really important pieces in the PRO Act. It also would restore the full right to strike for workers. So you cannot permanently replace anyone for striking. And you can also do secondary boycotts, which means that you, if you want to support other workers on strike, you can also strike in support of that strike. Think about how powerful that is. You talked about general strike. This is a place to start, right? So, so these are power-based demands, and I am not so sure it's impossible to get this done now, because we've seen politics shift even in the last 3 weeks, where more and more people are talking about getting rid of the filibuster and understanding that there's got to be that democracy reform is necessary in order to get the things that people really want. And people are starting to see the importance of the PRO Act because of this organizing drive in Bessemer. So people are starting to understand better. That was my biggest concern, was that the public didn't really understand how the PRO Act was going to help them. And we're changing that. We're changing that by organizing and by the workers fighting in Bessemer. And we're also going to change that by some other strikes that are coming up. And so people are going to understand the fights that working people are taking on, and how it's not a level playing field. And so in order to have a democracy, you got to make it fair for everyone, right? And it's just not fair right now. And so there's this growing momentum for unions and for workers' rights. And you're seeing politics start to shift, I believe, as a direct result of that. And also the discussion about voting rights, for example, the minimum wage. And people are starting to understand why these democracy reforms matter. And that makes it possible to get the PRO Act passed. So I think it's really possible. The momentum is in our favor here.
I agree.
That's exciting to hear.
And as we organize for it, we're also, the other thing that's really important is to have people raise their expectations about what they can expect from their employer, from their government. And when people's expectations are raised, they're more likely to call people out and do something for it and take action for it. So it's really gaining momentum because of those things. So we're going to keep organizing for the PRO Act. We're going to keep setting our demands and setting the agenda. And
that's how I feel about it.
That's like how we win.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it. I'm over $15 minimum wage. That was so 2012. We need like a $25 minimum wage now.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. $15, all they're doing by delaying this is just putting the price tag up. And we got to help them understand that they are not demoralizing us by not doing this. They are making us more committed to fight them and fight for what we really deserve.
That's certainly what the guy on whoever's running Amazon's comms team is doing. They keep punching themselves in the dick, just like continuing.
Jay Carney.
This is the corporate playbook that has worked for decades. And so they're super confused that they're not just running the tables here.
Oh yeah.
And they're not. They're so tone deaf and so arrogant and so disconnected